My name is Rafael Niro. I'm the CMO of Outfield, the company that Pedro has presented before here today. And I'm pretty happy and pleased to have here with me Julia Vergueiro. And happy also to know and understand a little bit more about her trajectory and plans for the future. And she's gonna tell us a lot of things that she has been doing with the women's football. And just to read here your resume, Julia was sustainability analyst at Itaú Unibanco, co-founder of Dibradoras, ESPN columnist, co-president of Pelada Real FC, and founder of Nossa. So welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We're going to have this presentation in English. So if anyone doesn't feel comfortable, we can just talk later and talk more about the project and everything that we're going to talk here. But I also got some slides in Portuguese just to help us go through the explanation. Thank you, Rafa, for the introduction and for accepting the challenge of being here today. So as Rafa said, I am the founder and now CEO of Nossa, which is space in São Paulo, a sports facility that is designed for women and girls and transgender to play sports. But I also have a girls and women's soccer academy since 2011. So 12, 13 years that I have been working with girls and women in football. And now in 2021, we opened Nossa. So I will just go quickly through the presentation, just so you can understand a little bit about the company and the concept that I think will guide us. Oh, that way? Okay. So here is just a little bit of the concept, and this is actually the first slide in the first presentation we built to present Nossa for funding and for sponsorship. And we were basically trying to tell people that the challenge we have in Brazil is that the sport, the women's sport, it's individual. So most of the women and girls, they still play, you know, they jog, they go to the gym, but they don't do group sports, collective sports. And one of the main reasons why this happens is because girls drop out of sports sooner than boys, 3 times actually more than boys when they become teenagers. So they start playing later and they drop out of sports before boys. So that's a big challenge when it comes to keeping these girls playing and having women who are also playing sports when they become adults, because they drop out and then they just don't come back because they don't feel safe, they don't have a team, they don't have an environment that it's welcoming for them to keep playing sports. So what we did, we created a sports facility that it's directed for girls and women to play sports. So we believe it's the first one in Latin America, the first sports facility that it's dedicated for women and girls and transgender people exclusively. So yes, if you go to Nossa, you see women playing soccer, you see girls playing beach volleyball, beach tennis, and that's something that it's not regular here in Brazil. If you go to any sports facility, it's basically men playing, but we created this safe space, which is something very unique and pioneer, and that many people thought it wouldn't be real and successful, but it's been 3 years and we're still here and growing. So we say that we actually proved that if we create safe space for girls and women to play, then we can grow the game for girls and women. But we need to have a welcoming and safe environment for this to happen. It's not just about saying we want the game for women to grow. We need to create the environment for it. And which is something that is very interesting is when you create a safe space for girls and women, we actually create a safe space for many other communities. So we see, like I said, transgender, the LGBT community in general, people with disabilities, they all come to Nazarena. They started looking and searching for us to run their projects, to come play, to gather their communities, because this was the only place where they actually felt welcomed to be and to play. So now we are this huge community. Of course, women's football is our main presence. So most of the girls and women who go there go to play soccer. We have many championships. We have girls that are playing to become professional players. We also have many birthday parties. So again, parents feel that the place is welcoming for their kids to have their parties together and to just have fun. Because usually when they go to other sports facilities, you know, people are screaming, they, you know, drinking too much and being too loud, and that's just not the kind of place where they want their kids to be. We have many corporate events, we have parties. Yeah, oh, just to finish, so these are some of the news and publications that came talking about Nazarena. So again, it's really nice to see how media and press have been talking about what we created, because it's something that it's new and that it's creating a new ecosystem and actually a new market for football and for soccer here in Brazil. We have now 5. Yeah, so this is the structure, but I want to move on. Yeah, you can just move on. Yeah, so these are our 5 big sponsors today. We have Nike, Vivo, Visa, Centaro, and Sport TV. So I'm sure everyone here knows these brands, huge brands. And I always say they could be investing anywhere they want, right? They have money, they have knowledge, they could be anywhere. But they are choosing to be with us, and that's they saying, because we have a purpose and we have a concept that it's very interesting for us. And Nike always tells me that they want to enter the market of women's football, not top down. They don't want to be Nike saying what's women's football about, but they want the community of women's football to build what we believe it's the best for us. So that's what we've been trying to do together. Here are just some other engagements we had with brands. And I would just have a quick video to show you how it looks, because I think it's always good to understand a structure if you actually see the structure.
As mulheres não se permitirá a prática de desportos incompatíveis com as condições de sua natureza. Durante quase 40 anos, foram proibidas de jogar. Escondidas, deixadas de escanteio. E quando tentamos entrar em campo, somos taxadas de teimosas. Mas a gente preferiu escolher outro adjetivo mais compatível com a nossa natureza. Somos persistentes, somos campeãs em insistir, em resistir. Somos mulheres. Somos mulheres e escolhemos existir. Nesse 8 de março e em todos os dias do ano, sinta orgulho de existir mulher.
Yeah, that's it. So this was a video that we made for Women's Day. I think it was the first year of Nossa Arena, 2021 or 22. Carol Barcelos, the reporter from Globo, is doing the voiceover, thank you. Great friend of us, and it was very impactful, you know, to show with her voice the power of being a woman and playing, because that's what I always say, that it was a big change when people start seeing women's football as something that they are proud of instead of something that we are ashamed. You know, like a girl that is ashamed of playing because she's the only one, or maybe a parent of a girl that is ashamed because his daughter is the only one that plays, and now they can say, I'm proud of my girl because she's playing the World Cup, because she's, you know, becoming something that she has always dreamed of. So that's pretty much the idea of the video, showing that we are proud of what you're doing, and now we can move on.
That's very nice project, congratulations. But going back a little bit in your career, like how was the transition for the corporate market to the football or to the sports segment?
This was a very special moment for me, and I see many students here, so it may be interesting for you who are starting your careers. I studied international relations, so nothing to do with sports. But then I started working with sustainability at Itaú Unibanco, because doing something that was, you know, impactful for the world was always something very important for me. And when I was working at Itaú Unibanco in 2013, Itaú became the sponsor for the World Cup, the Men's World Cup in Brazil. And that's when I started working with soccer for the first time professionally. And then I always say that actually Itaú Unibanco kicked me out of there, because when they put me into this project, I realized that I really wanted to work with soccer for my whole life. So then I quit my job there and I joined Pelado Real, which is my soccer academy. It already existed, so it was a group of women who gathered to play soccer. I started playing with them and I realized that could be bigger. So I joined as a business partner, and since then, I am one of the owners. And then in 2021, we created Nossa Arena in the middle of the pandemic. And like we were talking before, because of Pelado Real and because of the whole network we created in this industry of women's football, it became a lot easier to build Nossa Arena, because we actually already had our clients. You know, we knew the groups, the teams that were playing in the universities, that were playing, you know, in amateur leagues. They were everywhere, but they were not gathered. They were not a unique community. So Nossa Arena is basically a place that gathers this community. We are not creating anything new. We are just putting everyone together, and they are actually growing what they already have and creating new stuff. So that was my journey until now.
And what do you think were the main barriers that you faced when opening a new business, creating a new business, and also to create a new segment, as you can say? Because last year we developed a campaign for HBO Max to promote the finals of the Women's Championship, Paulista Championship, and the theme of the campaign was the football as it should be. So translated into Portuguese, like o futebol como deve ser. Because we were still hearing people saying that the women football should be with different balls, size of goals, and dimensions of the field. And did you face something like this, or did you hear something like that, like women didn't need a place to play? Explain a little bit more about the difficulties the challenge you had.
Well, I think we have challenges every day, because even if it's not said, it's sad, right? Like, if there is not any place like Nossa Arena, it has never been a place like this before, it's already the society saying that this place is not needed. Otherwise, why isn't anyone creating a space like this? In the first beginning, I would say that my first challenge was myself. So it always starts with us, trusting that what we believe is actually real and can be successful. So when I decided to quit my job at Itaú, and I told my mom about it, I told my family that I was dropping out this promising career to start working with women's football back in 2011. No one really believed me. My mom, I always remember this day, she sit with me in the table and she was like, are you sure you're not gonna have vacations anymore? You're not gonna have, all the benefits that working for a huge bank gives you? And I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't sure. I just had that feeling that I had to do it. It was like a call, I don't know, maybe a life duty that I was supposed to do. And maybe if I didn't do it, who else would be able to, right? Because I had so many privileges. I can speak English, I can talk to people from other countries and learn from them and bring this to Brazil. So I had to use this privilege in favor of a bigger community. So yeah, me and my family was my first challenge. Now they work with me, so it's all good. They love what we do. And then, well, we had many others. I will point one that when we were trying to open Nossa Arena and we found the place and we were creating the space, there was nothing. We created the whole thing from the scratch. There was this group of guys. They are the owners of one big beach sports club in São Paulo. And they came to us. We tried to talk to them about a partnership. They could help us with the beach sports because we didn't have the expertise for beach tennis or beach volley or futebol. And they were the ones who said, this is not going to work. If it's just for girls and women, this is not going to work. And we know because in our place, women come because they want to flirt with guys. And I was like, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some women who just want to be there to play sports, right? And maybe they're not going to your place because it's not a welcoming place for them. Because you think that they're just to flirt or whatever. And that's actually exactly what happened. So we now have many women who are playing sports for the first time. They never played before, or they came back to play after many, many years because they feel comfortable that they are in a place where it's okay if you don't know how to play, if you're just learning, if you make a mistake, if your body is not in a shape that it's, what the society expects from us. So we actually created a new market that some people thought that didn't exist. It was there. We just needed to have a place and the product for them.
And you also mentioned that the pandemic helped you to find a place to start the business, right? But also you mentioned that the 2019 World Cup broadcasted here in Brazil, the Women's World Cup, helped you a lot in terms of showing people and all the audience that girls could play football without being something bad, Say something a little about that.
Yes. I will ask you something. How many of you recognize Carol Barcelo's voice when the video started? Almost everyone. This is something that it's so unconscious for us, like when Galvão Bueno or Kleber Machado start talking on the TV, you just, okay, what's that? It's important. It's something relevant because it's part of our culture. So 2019, first time the World Cup, Women's World Cup broadcasted in Globo in Brazil. first time we were listening to Kleber Machado, Galvão Bueno, Carol Barcelo, and all these voices that we are so used to talking about women's football, saying Marta's name, Cristiane's name, Debinha's name, Tamiri's name. So that was very impactful in terms of creating a culture of women's football in Brazil. It became natural to talk about it, to go to a bar and talk about the game we saw yesterday, or, you know, sitting at a table in your dining room and talking with your family about the new players that are in your team or in the national team. And that changed a lot the way, like I was saying in the beginning, parents look at their girls who want to play football. And that's a huge difference when you look to the future. If parents really believe that bringing their girls to the game is something that they would be proud of, not only because they can become professionals or, you know, succeed in terms of career, but because they know the benefits that the sports bring to their kids, that's a big change. So for sure, 2019 was a very important moment for us, and we saw this in 2023. So the World Cup was in the other side of the world, and still we had people at Nossa Arena Monday morning, 8 a.m., 300 women gathering to watch Brazil play. So we are already seeing the results of what we are starting to create in 2019.
And talking about the future, we are going to have the World Cup here in Brazil. Are you already preparing your business or seeing the competitions appearing? How can you be ready for this new moment in terms of getting more girls and women into soccer?
I would say that we are ready. Nossa Arena, Pelado Real, we are for sure ready because that's what we do every day. My question here is Brazil ready? Is the football market of Brazil ready? Because what we see, where we go, the events, the games, what we see on TV, it's still a lot about men's football. We lack so many opportunities and experience for the women's game, and we cannot deliver an amazing Women's World Cup by ourselves. Nossa Arena, Pelado, and our community. We need everyone in the football market to be part of it. So what I would say is I invite people who are working with football today. You know, we saw so many people here with many data and intelligence and numbers and expertise to bring this to the women's game too, because it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge market to be explored. But I still see that many people believe it's just like a woman's thing. Like Julia should be talking about it, but that's because she's a woman. And as we saw Deborah working with men's football, we can see many other men working with women's football. And I think we need you guys who are here, you are the majority in this room, to join our bus, you know, to be part of this movement, because it's actually good for everyone. We are just growing the market for women's, for men's. We can bring more sponsors. Like I showed, we have 5 big sponsors that are not maybe sponsoring a women's team or another place, but they are with us because they believe this is the future for football, diversity, inclusion. So yeah, I think we need everyone to join the bus so we can deliver the best Women's World Cup ever.
Good. And still talking about opportunities, when we were talking before, you said that as Pelada FC helped you to develop the new business, Nossa Arena, you see that Nossa Arena now can help you to increase or to grow your business in terms of other audiences. Older people that don't have place or don't feel comfortable of playing with younger people or people with disability. And what do you think about this other group of people that needs a place to be comfortable of being there?
Yeah, if we look 10 years ago, we will probably never imagine that Nossa Arena would exist. I mean, why would you have a place for only women and girls to play if there are not even women playing? So I think to look to the future, we need to understand that the communities have to be created. And we see some of them, like I said, coming to Nossa Arena, approaching us, like transgender community, people with disability. I would say that older people, they're still not coming to us, but I do believe that we need to invest in them. Because like us, I'm 35. In 20, 30 years, I still want to be active. I still want to be playing sports. But where am I going to be playing? What are the spaces, the sports facility that are made for people, older people, to play? We don't have any. I mean, I don't know many. So I see these three communities who are growing. We are seeing the Paralympic Games now. Huge. Brazil, it's amazing, doing amazing, although not many people are seeing it. I see they growing and becoming a community itself. It's still like women's football 10 years ago. We were there and there. We didn't know each other. We didn't talk. We just competed. And now we are actually together, understanding that we are literally more powerful when we come together. So that's what I see, that if these communities also get together and understand the power that they have, that's what we're going to see in the future, I hope.
And also you said about the trans people that are already there playing and have teams just for them, and you see it growing?
Yes, I do. It's very challenging because it's not only because the community is understanding and finding itself and its power, but also because they have so many other challenges in terms of getting jobs, for example. So Nossa Arena is a private space. People have to pay to play there. How can a transgender come and play if 50% of the team doesn't have a job? Because the market's not ready for transgender people. They're just not accepted in most of the places. They suffer so many prejudice. They have so many mental problems because they have to deal with what's changing in their identity. So I think it's still very hard for them to find the places where they actually belong. So we need to be this place. We need to be welcoming. The transgender teams who play at Nossa Arena play it for free, so we offer the space for them. We actually hired one of the players to work with us now. So we are doing what we can, but we need more people and more spaces to welcome and to understand that they are a client like anyone. If you're thinking as an entrepreneur, you have to think that people can be a client for you and not have prejudice. So I think it's growing. I hope we can have more people just feeling welcome and safe to play.
Julia, we are coming to the end of our time. So I'd like to congratulate you again for your project, and also to open for questions if you want. We have 5 minutes left.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like a quick question. What do you think? Because for example, like if I tune in to watch women's football, how impactful do you think for a girl that is not necessarily looking to play football, but is looking to just like get into either journalism or trying to be an analyst, or even do like a sports management course, to have women actually commentating and women like as the narrators? And like how do you balance, because you mentioned you don't want to see just women caring about women football, you want to see men care about it too. So how do you balance like women having access, because like you sure don't want to like have all men and women football, because otherwise it's going to be a bunch of players playing for men that actually make decisions. So how important is it to have like women making decisions and like being like a coach, for example, or a director of football, or owning a club? Like how how can you increase representation of women making decisions?
Thank you for your question. I think it's fundamental, very, very important that we have women in every positions of the market, the football market. We're always talking about Deborah at Atlético Mineiro. I think she's a big reference and inspiration for us, because when I see her in the middle of, like here, 5, 6, 7 men talking about football, she just makes it look natural, as it should be, but it's still not. So we need more of Deborahs and Julias and other women understanding that this is also a place for them. So actually the system, the people who are in the football industry can understand that women are part of it. And once you understand that women are part of it, that's when you start changing the way you recruit, changing the way you promote people in your company, in your club, because you actually see that women are prepared just as men to do the same kind of work. So when we have the women's national team playing on TV, that's the message that we send to girls. Yes, you can be a professional player. You can have a career. You can be successful if you want to become a professional player. And that's the same thing with the narrators, journalists, and managers. If we see, then we can understand that it's possible. So it's very important, and the way we can do it, people who are in the market need to open space, need to give us the opportunity. When I started my academy, I decided that I would only hire women coaches, and that made a huge difference. And that doesn't mean I don't think men can be good coaches. Of course they can. But if I don't show women who are studying to become coaches that they have an opportunity, and that this is an opportunity that it's made for them, they don't even apply. There are numbers who show that women don't apply for job opportunities if they don't feel they are 100% perfect for their job. And men, 70%, they already go and apply. So that's building confidence. We need to show women that they are ready for the positions and that they can inspire other women too.
Okay, so thank you very much.